Welcome back. I'm Jon Christian, founder of On-Premise Solution Partners. Every strong digital media supply chain program starts with a solid understanding of current state organization, processes, and tools. In this session, we'll cover best practices around how you can identify and capture your digital media supply chain needs and call out some potential pitfalls along the way. Too often, companies just jump into digital asset management or content management solution selection without going through the detailed analysis of what their needs actually are. Taking the time to understand your current state asset and content lifecycle is crucial for selecting a solution that will fit your organization needs. In this session, we'll be going over our proven methodology that breaks down current state and future state analysis in the following key areas. First, stakeholder alignment. First, start off with understanding who are the people in your organization that touch digital media and content. We have seen that more mature digital media supply chains are leveraged by both internal and external groups, so this includes vendors and customers. Examples of these groups may include production teams shooting out in the field, marketing and brand business units. This could also include external agencies that may be responsible for creating, managing, and distributing your ads and marketing materials, or communication groups that are dealing with your internal videos and marketing. Depending on the size of your company, you may also have different lines of business that have separate production, marketing, and communication departments, and it is important to understand all of their varying needs. From there, you want to sit with each of these stakeholder groups to get a larger understanding of how they're creating and using digital media in order to document their current state. You can do this through one-on-one process interviews or in more of a collaborative workshop setting. We like to use value stream mapping workshops to be able to get the full picture of the process across multiple teams, including the systems involved, inputs, process steps, outputs, and end customers for each process. These value stream maps, or VSMs, help us to identify things like cycle time, processing time, and wait time, so that you can truly see where the bottlenecks are hiding in the different processes. The key thing to keep in mind as you're going through the current state process is that things that hurt today will only hurt worse tomorrow if you don't change something. So make sure to document those pain points. Next, you'll want to document your current state digital media supply chain inventory and landscape. This is where you lay out all the various tools that are being used to manage your assets and content. Think of all the systems that are key to your process and which tools are integrated, both tightly integrated and loosely coupled. Examples of the different system components we commonly come across include storage repositories and shared drive, digital asset management systems, and there's multiple types for marketing, work in progress, production, master data management or MDM solutions, rights management solutions, content management solutions, BPM and workflow solutions, which could include review and approval type solutions, automated content processing solutions. These are tools such as transcode, watermarking, encryption. And finally, distribution systems. Systems that are used to transport large amounts of content, system to system via push or pull, or distribute to vendors or customers' destination endpoints. Dig into each system to understand how they're being used. It's important to track things such as amount of assets and content. So are we talking about hundreds of assets or millions? The types of assets, stills or video, size of typical assets. What are the operating costs of the solutions? So this is licensing, this is maintenance, and this is infrastructure. The technology stack that the systems are built on. What is the metadata that's being captured? It is also important to understand the groups that are being used and the associated security required. Once you've got an understanding of the various systems, you'll want to call out how they currently integrate with each other, if at all. For instance, some systems may have an automated integration behind the scenes, whereas others may rely on a person manually downloading assets from one system and uploading them to another. The next step is future state process design. Take an approach where you see how your users would ideally want to do something if they weren't limited by a current process, tools, or organization. In addition, look how you can resolve the bottlenecks identified in the current state process analysis. Again, we like to use value stream maps here. Leverage a data-driven approach by looking across the systems, inputs, processes, and outputs, and being mindful of the customer's pain points, cycle times, and wait times. Once future state process design is in motion, you may want to take some time to focus on UX and persona mapping. We have been focusing on this quite a bit recently. A good user experience reduces the need for extensive change management and will drive user acceptance. Users now desire a UX similar to what they are getting at home with social media. Start fleshing out what the user experience will look like based on the key personas that will ultimately be using the system. Keep in mind that the technologies that you choose will dictate how easy this will be on the implementation side. For example, some packages offer great flexibility on the user interface configuration side. Other packages offer a wide number of APIs and web services, enabling you to quickly develop a custom UI. It's important to know what direction you may be heading in prior to doing this exercise with the business groups. Once you have your current and future state defined, you'll want to make sure that you start fleshing out the detailed requirements based on the future state. It is critical that you prioritize these requirements along the way because there will be a number of them. If you're going to be doing the solution evaluation with vendor responses, it's important that you provide enough level of detail in each of the requirements to not leave it open for interpretation. You want to know if a given vendor can do it or not. Typically, we break this down into functional requirements and non-functional and technical requirements. On the functional side, you want to capture requirements around content and assets. So with digital asset management, think of requirements such as upload, download, search, and tagging. You'll then want to get into requirements such as metadata modeling, security modeling, user modelings, and then dive into needed integrations, workflows, and of course, system and administration requirements. On the technology and non-functional side, you really want to focus on requirements around technology stack, support, and the ability to scale. Finally, it's important that you don't get lost in the weeds with detailed process analysis and requirements. We highly recommend that implementation should be taken in bite-sized chunks. Developing a phased iterative roadmap is key to be able to show success early and gain momentum. Focus on prioritized business units, geographies, and content scope, and break them up by phase to define a desired minimum viable product to be able to iterate following the release. If there's one thing that you can take away from this session, a successful implementation is not just about technology stand-up. Companies that make organization, process, user experience, and an iterative approach a core focus will have a much higher user acceptance rate. Keep watching and check out our next chapter about selecting the right solution. Thanks for watching.